Okay, about merging Xcode projects. I've prepared a little example project, which is just a very simple iOS application, and I have two branches from two of my coworkers, Alice and Bob, who recently did a change to this project. Let's clone this. And now if I want to merge the changes my colleagues did, just say merge. First one works fine because it's just a fast forward. In my branch there did not any work happen. And now if I merge the second branch, I get this merge conflict, and this is the typical thing that happens in Xcode projects very often when I work together with other people. Both created this file, created a file in the views group of this project, and this is like 4 changes in this 400-line configuration file for the Xcode project. So what I would have to do for this, to merge this, is to pick for every single change that I want both changes. And as this is a quite simple change, it's actually possible to do this in the merge tool here. But for more complex merges, what I usually do is I just pick the more complex change, get this, and then apply manually using Xcode the changes from the other side again, which is just a lot of manual busy work. It would be great if merging such changes together would be easier for Xcode projects. And so far, I have seen 2 approaches to this. One is to use a simpler file format, maybe something that looks more like the description of a Swift package, where you have like this configuration file, which is really readable and precise, and I would have no problem merging changes from different people manually in this kind of file. Like what I am currently evaluating in some of my projects is using this tool, Xcode Gen, which is a simpler project format for Xcode project, something like this. And you can generate an Xcode project from this. And I really like this approach because basically this file describes the whole Xcode project and it's easy to read. I immediately see which settings I changed. For me it feels much more concise, and I feel much more in control compared to like the Xcode project file format, which is even for a simple project, 400 lines of code, or 400 lines of configuration with all the options explicitly stated, which feels just a lot harder to maintain than something like this. So maybe, I'm really hoping in some of the future Xcode releases, Xcode gets a project format like this. The other way, if the Xcode project format is what it is, there have been attempts to merge this kind of Xcode project automatically. Some people recommend using a Git attributes file like this, where you say, I just want to automatically get the changes from both sites when merging, and it kind of works, but sometimes it corrupts the Xcode project, and it's not really meaningful merge of these project files. The other approach, which worked for quite a while, is a project like this that provides a merge tool for Git. Like Git has a way to include tools that can resolve merge conflicts automatically by looking at the changes from both sides, really parsing the file and putting together the changes with understanding of the actual file format. So it's not just a line-by-line merge, but you really try to do the same change based on the file format. Like this open source project tried to provide such a tool that you could register for the PBX project format. And actually that's, I think, also nice, I think that's the correct approach to automatically merge files like this. Unfortunately, this project since 2014, it's in status alpha and it seems abandoned, and it worked back in those days pretty well, but sometime around Xcode 9, Xcode 10, it broke for some of the newer Xcode project changes. So what would be totally awesome is such a tool like built into Xcode, where you can where Xcode helps with merging these files automatically. One other trick I learned from the lab I did with the Xcode Open Hour at this year's WWDC is one thing that's possible is to have a Swift package also like in the same repository with the app for components of your app. And as these don't have this complex and hard to merge Xcode project configuration, you will not have merge conflicts for these subcomponents of the project. So what you could do is like extract some of the parts of your app into a Swift package. And if this is really separate from my app, I would even like just put it in a Git repo and include it in my project. But if I want to version it together with my main app, because it's a subcomponent of the app and it's only used there, what I learned from the Xcode engineer in the lab is you can put this library into a workspace for the project. Is someone to workspace? So this would be in the same repo for the app project, and if you set up the Xcode workspace like this, you could have this as a dependency for the app project, and then you would, for this component, you would have no trouble merging if somebody, for example, adds files to this group, because the Swift package format is very lightweight and easy to merge.